Are you addicted to buying board games on crowdfunding platforms? Well, don't watch this show. Or maybe do watch this show because it's all bad. I'll be really mean to them because of it. Welcome to Crowdfunding Countdown. We're going to take a look at every single board game campaign finishing up in the next week. It's episode 185. Only 15 more and then we get to 200. I mean, 15 more is like, 4 months. So we got a little while. As always, shout out to everybody who supports the channel. Thank you for liking, subscribing, sharing it to your friends, and super thanks goes to all of my Patreon members who are funny, nice, generous people. Even though I hate your stinking guts sometimes, some other times, most other times, I like those guts. In fact, give me your guts. I want to turn your guts into sausages and slurp them right up. Let's get into the week. Starting off with something that I missed last week that said patrons wanted me to cover and I didn't. We have Space Gits, a miniature game of drunk-ass space orcs. From the creator of Gasland comes a dexterity-based skirmish game of lootin', shootin', and scootin'. I missed this one, and so we're covering it now. I assume there will be a late pledge if you're interested in it. So let's check out what sort of dexterity game we will get up to today. I mean, this video alone was better than the entirety of last week. I'm gonna finally be someone. It's a thing we can only dream of. That song was the second greatest song I've heard this week. The first one being from Survivor with Star saying, "My enemies are plotting." Whoa, what? My enemies are plotting. Where they at? Oh, that's what I should do. That's what I should do for my Survivor audition video. I should use all of you. Comment in the comments that you want to see me on Survivor. That it would make you watch Survivor. That I would be the best Survivor player ever. Do that for me, and then I'll add it into my audition video this year. All right, let's look at Space Gits. You play as a gang of drunk-ass space orcs riding through the mega city of Nork. You're out for a thumping good time and to loot whatever isn't nailed down. Dexterity mechanics supports 2 to 5 players, plays in under an hour, welcomes and encourages kit bashing, can be played as a drinking game, includes rules for drunken orc-on-orc combat. I saw a video of that once. It was something. A full-on campaign system and vehicle rules. This is very funny. Whenever you move your model, you have to move a little tower of dice with it, and if it falls, then your person falls down. That's funny. And whenever you roll your dice, you gotta move towards where the dice landed. Sure. Scoot around, looting bottle caps, mugging your opponents, and generally causing mayhem until the 30-minute timer is up, and you have to leg it. You've got a buttload of D6s and at least one set of funny-shaped RPG dice for some of the guns. You can play it. 20 or so bottle caps or random tokens, a tape measure or ruler because it's a miniature game. Here's the free quick start rules. Yeah, we'll take a look. Wow, 128 pages for the base rule book. Yeah, we'll look at the quick start rules. You get 3 orcs, 2 foot by 2 foot play area. You drop 6 bottle caps onto the table from a decent height. You start 4 inches away from all caps and enemies. Oh, and this is cool too because the last boss still playing scoops up any in-play bottle caps. So you can choose when to leave with your bottle caps, but whatever you're doing, you're leaving bottle caps behind, and whoever's the last person there will get everything. That's funny. Yeah, you just chuck your dice in a line and then you move that many inches towards it. So you don't know how much you're going to move. So you really want to chuck the dice pretty far so that you don't run into it. Oh, but you roll all 3 of them. So you roll, okay, I'm going to move there, scoot there, scoot there, scoot there. That's funny. If you bump into any orcs, a fight breaks out. Whenever you take damage, you get a higher tower, and so you're more likely to fall down. That's funny. And then you do rock, paper, scissors to fight. And there's different benefits of thumping, pinching, and shoving, but it works in rock, paper, scissors. Yeah, this seems fun. Very fun, very funny. The hardback rule book and a bunch of stuff that you don't need is £69, 127 Canadian. But if you want the digital rule book, it's £20, 37 Canadian, and you can just have this funny dexterity game if you happen to have a bunch of war game memorabilia. I think it's great. Yeah, I think it's absolutely great. It would have been the pick of the week last week for sure. Thanks to, I think it was Wilt. Thanks to Wilt for finally giving me something good to cover instead of that abomination that happened on BackerKit, which I guess we could cover BackerKit, raising money for BackerKit, because not enough people fund things on BackerKit. So they're saying, yeah, join this investment because lots of people fund things on BackerKit. So much so that we need you to invest in BackerKit because we're not making enough money. I just clicked on this because I thought it was maybe funny. It's a little token. You can put your dice into dice jail. So if you want the token, it's £3 to put your dice into dice jail. Yeah, when I was playing Iridia, I rolled 2 1s in a row. but this person rolled 3 ones. I don't know if it was in a row, but it felt like it was in a row. It was just nuts. That's like a 1 out of 100 chance. That's Tuesday, May 13th. I don't know. I thought it was funny. So it's in the links. Certainly better than this. This is Diceverse, but we're not covering that. Why? Well, because it's a $1 pre-pledge, I believe. Certainly is. So we're not covering that. Again, we don't cover and give free advertising to projects that use a $1 pre-pledge. And there are so many projects out there that deserve your money over these campaigns. Just straight up, that aren't engaging in hyper FOMO marketing. Okay, let's move on. This is an interesting one. We're absolutely covering this. It hasn't hit its funding goal yet, and I hope maybe it does, and if it doesn't, it'll cancel. It has a big funding goal. It is 250,000 euros for the Project L Universe Ultimate All-In Collection. Level up your game with our limited bundle featuring the original smash hit Project L and its next level sequel, Square One. Limited editions, limited time, limited Kickstarter. We're covering this because I like Project L. I think it's a fun game. I've played it before. And especially, I knew that there was a note that somebody wrote over on our Discord, and so I'm just going to read it. I wanted to bring attention to Chris George's attention how these guys handled a previous campaign I backed. They kept their backers informed, and everything arrived on time. This should be a standard, but we all know that it isn't. Over time, a pretty serious problem emerged with the dual-layer puzzles. They started to wrap and split to the point that my copy became absolutely unusable. These guys launched a survey to figure out how many people were having the same issue. Then they contacted the producer to figure out what the issue was. Apparently, it was caused by the type of the glue that they used, fixed the problem, and produced replacement copies anew. They constantly kept backers informed throughout the process, and even covered both shipping and customs duties. The replacement process was a bit lengthy, and for some backers it is still underway, but I think that the way they handled this is truly commendable. I normally don't do this, but I believe they deserve some praise for their work ethic. So I wanted to share that as like a very positive experience that people have had with this company, and I think those positive experiences are super important, especially when we're dealing with crowdfunding campaigns, especially when we're dealing with companies that are folding consistently and who will need to communicate with backers and if anything untoward comes up or unexpected comes up. Hopefully more unexpected than untoward. I mean, I do want to know about those things as well. There's also another story in the Discord too about when the Project Deluxe delivered, the box was badly dented, not ruined, but it was clearly an Amazon delivery issue. And so somebody contacted the company and was like, hey, like, is this you or is this Amazon? Like, if it's you, it's fine. But if it's Amazon, I'm going to like make a stink. And Project L, they gave them like a credit as well for additional stuff. So it seems like they really, really care about their backers. And those sorts of personal accounts make me have a lot of faith if you're interested in getting this game. Now, I have always found that the collector's version of Project L is very expensive. Probably too expensive, arguably, because they give you all these trays and stuff when you really just need the cards. And I remember when Square One was on Kickstarter, and I didn't think it looked as interesting as Project L. I think Project L does look a little bit better than Square One. And so rather than getting this collector's all-in for like 85 euro, you can see that the retail upgrades are like 40 euro, and so you're basically paying almost double the price, which I don't personally think you need. You're also just getting a bunch of little mini expansions, which are fine. Like, I've played with all these mini expansions, and because I think the box that we were playing with had it. So they're easy enough to incorporate. It's very easy to incorporate. It just gives you more options. But for a game like Project L, which I often equate to a similar feeling as Splendor, I don't quite think that you really need all the extra bling. I think it is a fun game. It's an efficiency puzzle at its core. You are going to be choosing either taking shapes or upgrading your shapes or taking new cards that you can then complete. Whenever you complete a card, you get to upgrade shapes or get new shapes, and and then again slot those in to other puzzles to complete them for points, etc. You're building on that as an engine, but I just don't think that you need all the bling. Personally, Square One is a similar vibe. Again, you're building on those engines. You're building it more with these singular blocks that have shapes on them, which feels a little bit weird. Square One, I feel, was meant to be a cheaper Project L or a more pared down Project L, and then it's now ending up to be the exact same thing, which feels a bit weird to me. Right, it's a similar feeling. You can see that in Project L you're using shapes. In here you're just using the blocks, and then you get another block, and it can sort of upgrade. Or you can merge things together and split your pieces constantly. It didn't seem as exciting, or it seemed, no, it didn't seem as exciting. It seemed just slightly different. Here they're coming out with a new expansion that gives you the action rewards, storing up bonus actions when you complete something, not just getting points and getting additional stuff for your engine. So shipping to the US is 20 euro for an all-in, 16 euro to Canada. Yeah, let's get it cheaper. They have a nice big section about how they're going to navigate the tariffs, and that they don't need to charge you US sales tax, but they will charge you tariff stuff. And I think that is exactly the correct option. And they're saying, listen, and they're being so upfront about it too. I think this is a real standout campaign, one that, you know, you should look at if you are rich. I like that they're showing the amount that they actually have to read. I like that they're being so upfront about it. I think this is a real standout company, and only positive check marks in my book. Even if I think that the product is too expensive for what the gameplay is, I still think that it's clearly hitting at least some people, and there might be a market for it as well. So really looking highly on this campaign, and if you're interested, that finishes May 14th at 2 p.m. Moving along to Dicepen Collection Season 2. Where were you when Dicepen Collection Season 1 dropped? I wasn't here. Well, maybe I was here. Was I here? They're adding 10 new games to the original 10, bringing you to a total of 20 awesome adventures. Wow. I mean, I definitely wasn't there. Is this going to be like Dr. Finn's 8 games, though? Because that was underwhelming. And I hope that this isn't underwhelming, but I bet it will be. It's a quirky mix of compact roll and write games, each bursting with all sorts of fun mechanics and themes. Burst all over me. Every game comes as a sleek A5 gamepad, only 4 away from the steak sauce. You know, sometimes I'm like, oh, wait, this is supposed to be entertaining. And then I let the faucet, I turn the faucet off. Because sometimes I'm just like, okay, I'm in information mode. I'm like, okay, I'm just doing a bit of this. I know I'm going to have to stop. I'm just trying to get as much out as I can. And then I realized, oh, this is probably very boring. And so I clocked myself with how I said bursting. And then I was like, yeah, you could be quirky and zany. The people want their chuckles. And so then I made a very bad A1 steak sauce joke that I'm not happy with and has set off this entire tirade. And I'm sorry. And I will be better. And just give me a chance. That's all I'm asking, is that you give me one single chance. I will give you one chuckle. One of them, just one. I mean, come on. That's what I can predict. That's all I can guarantee as well. But there will be one, and it's not, I'm not going to tell you when it's coming. Or I might, because then that always makes it. Okay, but one will happen this episode. Mark my words. And if I don't, you let me know, and I will spend the next episode completely covered in A1 steak sauce. I'll just be lathered in it. Play wherever the mood strikes, at a picnic, in a train station, or at home. What are the games in the collection? Cathedral, Knight's Adventures, Space Driller, Kingdom Reborn, The Wayfarer. Wayfarer? You want to see that one? Wildlife Dice, Cat's Garden, One Page Expedition, Dicey Roads, Dicey Raiders. They'll give you 50 sheets. All right. So let's look at them quickly. How much is... You get one game for 8 euros. That's expensive for print and plays. 22 for the trio. The quintet, you get all 10 with the Dicepen Collection Toolkit, 65 euro. Wait, so for the first one, are you giving me the physical copy? Like, I guess if you're giving the physical copy and then you're shipping, if it's just one game, that is over market value for the print and play. Oh, great. They don't have the rules. They just have a very easy breakdown. So roll the dice, sketch your way to the top, build the tallest, most stunning stained glass in this colorful adventure. I like that it's the tallest. It's like, it doesn't matter if it's full on the bottom, just stack all of them at the top. You need 4 pencils. They don't tell you how to play. Okay, not that excited. Suit up, brave knights. It's time for an epic solo quest in Knight's Adventures. Also, don't tell you how to play it. I'm sensing a theme here. Welcome to the Interstellar Extraction Corporation, where you're just one of many daring drill operators on a mission to strike it rich. Okay, how do you do that? Not gonna tell you. You're gonna have 1 pencil, 1 colored pencil for each player, and 4 dice. Wow. All right. So are you gonna tell us anything about these games? No? All right, so you do get a notebook. Okay, you do get a notebook for €8. That's better. So it's not just a print and play. That's at least a little bit better. But they haven't told you how to play. So why would you, right? There's nothing on here that tells you how to play. Do I have to click on it? This isn't positive as well. I'm glad you're doing a second series. However, I still have not received my first series. And updates. And there's one that I'm going to be showcasing one that I'm going to be looking at later. But again, like, why? Absolutely not. This just seems horrid. Nobody's telling you how to play any of these. They're just saying, trust us, there are games. And unfortunately, I don't. But 41 backers do for some reason. That's Wednesday, May 14th at 5:59 p.m. Moving along to the one that they were talking about, which is doing better than, has certainly more backers. We have Craftsman, Think and Write, expand the production, deliver goods, and earn the title of Master Craftsman in this print and play strategy game. You've heard of rolling and writing, you've heard of strolling and writing, or you will when my review of En route comes out, but have you heard of thinking and writing? No more dice rolls, just think about it. And then write yourself a very nice letter. It's just positive affirmations, the game. I've come up with this game, positive affirmations, the game. I am the lead designer. You think about everything you want to improve about your life, and then you write something down saying that you've improved it. And you just say that over and over. You don't do anything, clearly. No, this is a game. This isn't about real world action. You don't do anything about this. You don't take any actionable steps, nor will I empower you with any tools to take any actionable steps. However, you write them down, you think about them, you feel like you have done something, and then you continue to be the exact same person that you always were. How does that sound? You get all the pathos without any of the payoff. Okay, what's Craftsman about? Think and write game without randomness. Because the only way to make it replayable usually is randomness, but let's see. It was nominated for Golden Elephant 2013. Oh, transferring it into roll and write format. Focusing on crafting resources, adding more resources, new production chains. You're tasked with constructing buildings that take part in the production chains of goods. I might be damaged goods, but I'm still goods. There's no luck involved. Only in the setup phase, you'll roll dice to ensure the randomness for the start of every player. After that, the only thing that counts is your strategic thinking, as you will distribute the workers, acquire resources, and deliver products. You will gain the recognition of the mayor as a proof that you're the master craftsman of the kingdom. Are you going to show me how to play the game, though? That's the question. Here we go. Yeah, see, there you go. You're actually giving a game overview. Maybe that's why people are backing your game. What a surprise. Imagine how that worked. Can you imagine? I'm getting too excited. We haven't looked at it yet. Okay, so you have 6 locations. You also have 5 building. 2 regular and then 3 that you get randomly. There are 29 different products in the game. Okay, so they're giving you an example here of building a barrel. Each spot is limited for the amount of rounds in the game, so you can only use it a certain amount of times. He's done roll and rock, dice raiders, race and write. Again, there's not enough information here for me to be really interested whatsoever. Yeah, it's just supposition. I don't know. Like, there's not enough here. There's not enough here to show me anything about the game. I don't understand why these people are backing. Even for €3, I wouldn't do it. That finishes Wednesday, May 14th at 5:59 p.m. I like the potential concept of every space only being used a certain amount of times, but you also then could solve, like, it's a solvable puzzle. I guess it's a little less solvable if you start with different buildings every time, and that's where the randomness comes in. Not super thrilled about it. Here's another one that I probably won't be thrilled about either. It's another little abstract game, Yin and Yang, twin board games with opposite goals. Fuer Helur. It's going to be enamel. It's going to be too expensive for what it is, but we'll look at it to see. Might be something interesting in there. Win 4 in a row with your own color or 5 in a row regardless of color. Okay. Expanding playing space. Shrinking playing space. Not to make 4 in a row or not to make 5 in a row. So they're almost close, and then they're not, so you still have to buy 2 different games. The player also loses the game where they make 6 in a row with any gem colors. But don't you win if you make 5 in a row? So how would there be? I guess if it's a 3 and a 3, okay, there is an opportunity if it's like 3 and 2, and you put something in the middle, or you're forced to. It's the same game, but you win if you put 4 in a row, or you lose if you're forced to put 4 in a row. Not your best, even out of the acrylic ceramic campaigns that have popped up. Often I'm like, yeah, it's okay, but it's ceramic, it's too expensive, yada yada. I think these don't look good at all. So finishes Wednesday, May 14th at 9 p.m. Let's keep moving. Let's keep moving to definitely not StarCraft. A real-time strategy-style sci-fi strategy game for 1 to 8 players. A deep and easy-to-learn tactical battle where you stay engaged because it's already your turn again. Looks like they're doing it with chips. I doubt that they can actually produce something at this scale for the money that they've raised right now. That would be... Okay, but they're going with cardboard chits, so maybe that'll like it a little bit better. All right, let's watch the video. Well, it's 1 to 4 players. Oh, I guess it's 1 to 8 with an expansion, or you just buy 2 sets. Then you just play them both together. Well, I'm intrigued. I'm intrigued by a couple prospects. I'm intrigued by everything being completely next to each other, just rammed full, and how that would be interesting. And then I'm also intrigued by you needing to be beside resources, to be taking those resources, to be constantly upgrading your troop and making them better and better. That seems like it could be cool. 2-minute turns. I do like that. Build on nodes, resource nodes to gather resources. Use your economy to dominate the enemy. Recruit, spend biosteel to choose from 8 units to deploy your units out. Upgrade your HQ. Exterminate, eradicate. Maintain the most units around mainframes, so holding area, King of the Hill style, to gather data, or you can destroy your opponent's base and win as well. I like that it's 2-minute turns. I like that there is a set timer to force you to make your turns effective. Yeah, you'll just get, and stickers to put on the poker chips. So that makes sense to get a bunch of poker chips. I have a few extra health chips that I could sticker things on. So how to play. Oh, they're giving everybody, each faction, a different feel to it. Alex shows us pick of the week. That's cool. Rules. They do have rules. Okay, great. That's interesting. The more data you have, the more dangerous it is because somebody can destroy your base and take half of it and then potentially win. Cool. That seems pretty easy to visually see. You drop your miners on it and you're either mining resources to upgrade yourself or mining energy to activate unit abilities or required to upgrade unit. All right. So it takes the 1 resource to put them out and then 1 resource to upgrade a unit. I like that being a choice. Ground and air units have different movement capabilities. Ground stops when it goes to a different set of terrain. That's neat. And you can transport with transporters and airdrop people down for more efficient movement. Kind of like the mechs and scythe. I mean, we're clearly missing things. This is 1, 2, and then we have 5. And then we have encounters, but it also doesn't tell us how to fight. Oh, here's 3. Okay, yeah. Sorry. Well, no, that's the turn sequence. Here's the combat. Each unit can move according to their speed and attack in their range. Okay. Then they deal their damage to the target's health. Activate units 1 at a time. In the combat or the control phase. Oh, you do is activate. So activate. So that's one of the things you can do is activating units. And then when you activate units, you activate your combat. Or you can spy, upgrade, recruit. I do like that it is repeated and that you have to take a break in your efficiency here in the control phase. Yeah, here's 4, so it's just 3, 4, and then it's 1, 2. So those pages are probably just out of order. All right, well, seems pretty simple. There's no defense stat as well. So it's just deterministic. It's like, I do 3 damage, I do this, I do this. And yeah, I guess 2 minutes seems fine for moving everything around and navigating the different terrain and making mistakes in that way. Sure. Seems like a very bare bones rules. How much are you? I think it was what, 69? Yeah, $69 with the battle mats. The big box went to 8 players, 109. So it's 96 Canadian, and then plus shipping. Shipping to get to Canada would be 26. So again, it's like $130 for this game, which I don't know. I'm quite intrigued. I'm intrigued by the flow of it. I don't have a lot of faith that this is going to be enough to do it, really. Or I don't have any faith that it's going to be super quality of what you would want the quality to be if you paid that much money, right? Like when you think of chips, at least I think of chip theory games, and I don't think you're going to hit that amount of quality with the price. Certainly won't. And then it's like, what is the quality going to be? I also don't know if there's going to be too much overhead, if there's going to be too much unfamiliarity with the different factions. So I'm unsure about that in terms of how that will affect the real-time element. Yeah, I don't know. It's a tough one. I'm definitely intrigued. But I'm a bit skeptical just from funding, really, which I'm not often skeptical with. So for the shipping section, for no 145% tariff, oh, that's because they're doing it in Vietnam. Longpack has pivoted their production to Vietnam while the US continues its pissing contest. So if you're interested in that, it finishes May 14th at 10:59 p.m. Okay, moving along to this one. Animal Parade. Night of 1,000 Yokai. Wait, no, that's different. It's super fun, easy to learn card game where you win by completing your parade first. Watch out for the tricky cat card. Uh-oh, this is probably going to be horrendous, but, you know, we'll look at it. Thrilling to play. Fun for every age. Look at them. Wow, look at them. They're having such a good time. I take it back. They're all having... Oh, look, the bunnies on the symbols. And they're being... Oh my god. Oh no, those poor animals, they were just parading and then they were sucked into that painting and frozen in time. Oh my god, what sort of horrific nightmare is this? Oh no, Bunny! Bunny, you'll never crash those symbols! Bunny, you're frozen forever! Oh, Animal Parade. It is the yokai one. They're a team of 2 people and 3 cats, yeah, and 4 trapped souls. Be the parade leader and guide your cult animal friends into a horrid frozen death. It's a fun solitaire game for all ages. Yeah, because only you can hear yourself scream when you're frozen in time. Step 1. Horrid. Each player chooses their own parade leader. A horrifying Pied Piper, ready to send these poor animals to an early grave, or never a grave, because they'd be frozen in carbonite. Step 2, each player draws 5 cards from the shuffled card deck. These are your victims. Step 3, draw 5 cards as the exchange cards and place them face up. In case you don't like your victims, you're going to have more victims here. Step 4, now draw a card until you draw a flag card. The player with the parade leader matching the flag color starts off to the races. You could just do it randomly, but no, it has to be a real step. Gain 10 souls to win the game. During your turn, you can play the animal card to gain 1 score. How do you earn a score? Who knows? Oh, you grab the animals and you sandwich them together? Protect your parade. Animal cards leaving the parade will reduce your score. Replace from exchange or draw pool. Play any number of cat cards. What? How is that a fully fledged game? What is a score? What is a score? What are the different cards? Fulfill more animal poses? We don't want more animal poses. Nope, that's it. Okay. Yeah. No. Really good. Yeah, you're right. You really give me a whole image of what we're doing here. Oh, okay, perfect. Yeah. They're from Hong Kong. I take it back. I'm not going to be as harsh. I think there's something lost in translation. But there needs to be more rules. I don't know how you get a score, but you play cards to get a score. So, who doesn't like playing cards? That finishes Thursday, May 15th at 9:56 a.m. All right, I was thinking about skipping this one because it's not reached its funding goal, but I think it's kind of okay. I looked through the rules. I guess I should watch the video first. This is a word drafting game. All right, yeah, I think this seems kind of cute. Somebody mentioned deck building, but you're not doing that. You're drafting cards. You're drafting cards. You're going to draft 7 cards, and then you want to make a word out of it. There you go. You get the points that are listed on the words or on the letter value. And there are also some special powers that you can double letters or change the suit, because they're all of the same suit. If you manage to draft everything with the same suit, then you double the value of your letters as well. So there's some interesting word combinations that can be done. Yeah, I think it looks pretty cute. It's $10 for a print and play, I think, and then it's $20 for the print and play and a printed copy. Shipping to the US is $12, okay, and Canada's $19, so again, it would be, $60 for me to get this card game, which is absolutely something I'm not interested in. However, I think it would be a fine enough diversion. Would it beat playing Letter Jam or Bananagrams or Scrabble or Paperback? I don't know. I don't think so. I don't think so, but I think it looks cute enough. So if it looks cute enough to you, you can check that out. That finishes Thursday, May 15th at 12:16 p.m. Moving along, we've got This War of Mine, the 2nd edition. Now, this is going to be a little mini 5 reasons you shouldn't back, maybe. But I didn't do a video on this, a designated video on this, and you can let me know if I should have. I guess I should have done it, because that's kind of my shtick, but I didn't really feel like doing it. Not that I didn't have the 5 reasons, I was looking into it, but mainly because, I don't know, the tariff situation sucks, and there's a lot of, fear around everywhere, and so, the one campaign that's doing well, I didn't want to be like, don't get this campaign, when I knew I could say that in Crowdfunding Count. So, I don't know, let me know what you think. Also, it's a 2nd edition. Here are the quick reasons. The 2nd edition, so you could get it at retail, you could find a copy. The updates probably don't do enough. And also, it's way too sad. That was my number 1, is that it's way too sad. This is a game that my buddy Ryan has, and I was going to get a copy of it, then Ryan has it, and I was like, okay, I don't need to. But we still haven't played it because we're still waiting for that right feeling, the right time to do it. And it's one that I'm actively interested in playing because people talk about it a lot. And it was making the rounds in the Ruin Board Deathmatch for a while. And I was like, this is very interesting, but I don't want to be so sad. I'm sad enough in my daily life. I mean, I don't need more sadness about the weight of the world just bearing me down. But apparently, 7,425 people do. I don't know. Let's see what the 2nd edition has to offer. I haven't really looked into it too much about what the differences are. So I'm going to do that now. Also, if you don't like narrative passages, right? That would be another reason. Even this trailer's sad. I tried This War of Mine, the video game, too, and it wasn't that sad. I just didn't really like the mechanics of it. Every choice you make matters. Yeah, in life. I think it's telling that the trailer is just sad music. Be a masterpiece. This War of Mine is the video that I would want to make about it is one where I would put on a British accent and talk about how it's an art film. It's one of those things. Honestly, this is another thought that I've had. I've had a thought creating a new YouTube channel where I pretend to be British, and I just do video essays, and I do video essays that I would do here, or do the same format and just see how if people take the opinions more seriously or feel like it's more highbrow if I'm British, because my theory is yes, but I don't know. I just thought that'd be funny. All right, this cooperative experience of This War of Mine immerses players into the harrowing lives of civilians trapped in a war-torn city, facing relentless challenges that test the limits of human resilience. They must navigate a series of morally complex decisions, manage scarce resources, and confront the stark realities of survival in a besieged environment. The second edition elevates the acclaimed experience with improved miniatures, double-layered character boards, and a redesigned rulebook. That's huge. But also, if you have the first edition, you can just get the redesigned rulebook. I know that in This War of Mine, one of the complaints was that a lot of the rules are found on cards and aren't in the rule book, and so you don't have like a main resource. Along with a new expansion introducing a set of heart-wrenching stories of survival woven into scenarios with more dynamic, shortened playtime. In retail, you'll pay up to twice the price from the core box, game, and the stretch goals. Yes, but you don't have to pay shipping. And do you need all the stretch goals? That's the real question. I don't think it's one where you do. Stretch gold box contains new scenarios, more stories, and gameplay. I don't know. Who out there has played all of their This War of Mine scenarios to the point where they're like, man, I really need more scenarios? Is that any person in the world? I really don't think it is. I would bet that it is not. 1900 narrative moments designed to make you feel the weight of war. Some change the game, all change you. I want none of that in my board gaming night. I really don't. Certainly not. I want to be an ostrich, right? That's how people are so happy. They just pretend that hate crimes don't exist. Oh no, that affects you? Doesn't exist. Doesn't affect me. I'm happy. The special edition is €95. The standard edition is €65. That's pretty good. Core box, all first edition stretch goals, upcoming stretch goals. You just get 13 character models and 14 other models. You get some metal stuff. I mean, I gotta hand it to Awakened Realms. Like, I really do love their campaigns because I feel like both of these choices are reasonable. And I think they do a really good job of now providing the cheaper option as well, and highlighting the cheaper option, highlighting the retail option, and then highlighting what you get in the deluxe, and making both of those have value, which I really, really appreciate. And I can't say that for a lot of other companies. I feel like Burnt Island does this, even though nobody did their retail version for How to Save a World, and then they're just like, nah, it doesn't exist. But I really like and appreciate and respect companies that do that. Yeah, like even these characters that start out with, yeah, I don't deserve to live. I'm a worthless piece of shit. Like, geez, that's reasons 1 to 5. It's too sad. I think the texturizing looks really nice on this render. I don't think it's going to look like that. And I think I would be completely fine with a standee. But as per usual, the minis look great. This is also why people like this as a solo game, because they want to cry in the comfort of their own home with nobody around them. And also, there's over 1,900 narrative scripts, unique war stories burdened with the real consequences of every choice made. And sometimes anything with narrative text. Sometimes you want to do it solo because sometimes you would just prefer to read it rather than perform it or read it out loud, which I get. As the person who always has to read the thing out loud, sometimes I want to break. You wouldn't think it by the length of my YouTube videos, but sometimes I want to break. All statuses are now tracked and more visible. You have your actions, you have your statuses of your fatigue, hunger, misery, illness, and wounds. I remember, I've seen that. I saw that in the video game. I remember that. Clear the wreckage, unlock new spaces. Survival starts with making room to breathe. Then you have to step outside and scrounge for supplies. Honestly, having played the video game and being underwhelmed by it, it helps cure some of the FOMO that I had previously been feeling for this game. Then in Dusk, it really is resource management to the nth degree. Move over, Uwe Rosenberg. You thought that Agricola was hard to feed your workers. Well, you haven't played This War of Mine. But it really comes down to a lot of these narrative choices, right? It gives you these examples of the concrete floor muffles our steps, but not the sound of talk. We can hear an argument on the floor above. It's not loud enough to hear who's arguing or work out what they're arguing about. Let's check it out, but carefully. Whatever it is, it's not worth the risk. And then you move on to the next thing. And both of those options will be bad. That's the problem. Or 1421, we managed to get close enough to hear and see 2 soldiers arguing next to the corpse of a man and a tied-up woman. The soldiers are pushing each other, shoving a rifle into each other's hands. They are fighting over who gets to play with the girl and who's going to shoot the ducks. Bastards, they'll regret it. C568. That's what you might want to do, but you also don't have any skills, and they'll turn on you and kill you. Let's back off while they're busy. They have their hands full. Let's not get in the way. You're a bystander, and you have to make that choice. And both choices are going to be horrible. I do like that they've incorporated a short mode. That was another complaint. Right? All of the expansions that feel like they are so necessary if you look about what they add in some narrative text. That's it. This book of scripts, it's gonna be in the main book anyway, because then the cards just tell you where to turn to them. I presume they're not gonna have another side book, I don't think. Well, this is a little bit different. There's a tactics map of soldiers roaming around, and then there's sewers where you can go into the sewers. Again, like if I'm going to get this game at the standard pledge with the standee after conversion, because our dollar's bad, it's $104 Canadian plus shipping. So it's like $120 for this game, where you can probably get the base game once it hits retail for like 60 or 70. So it's an additional $50, and you do earn that with your with the shipping and with the different expansions, if that is something that is really exciting and interesting to you. But I just don't think it's going to be really exciting or interesting to you. I think that they don't matter. Like a lot of Awakened Realms expansions, they just don't. They don't matter. They feel like they matter, but they don't matter. And I think you can be completely satisfied if you think about 1900 Stories interactions, right? And you're getting an additional 10 cards. And those 10 cards could maybe provide, if you're having a branching story path, let's say they all have 4 different story decisions. Let's say they all have 8. Even if they have 8, that's 80 things. That's 5% of the main game that you're paying essentially double for. I don't see how this doubles your game experience when you're doubling the pay for it, is my point. And I think it's something to consider. I doubt there will be a rulebook on this page, because Awakened Realms never has a rulebook on the page, even though they've said that it's a streamlined rulebook. And that's good for me, because I gotta go. I don't know. The main draw here is the feeling. The main draw is the narrative text and the narrative choices. It's what the game is always focused around. Nobody ever talks about the resource allocation. Nobody ever talks about the strategic depth of the game. They talk about going on a journey. And that is the selling point of this game. That is the forefront of this game. And that is the thing that you will either really enjoy or not enjoy if you get it. So if you're interested in that, that finishes on the 15th at 2 p.m. Oh, we're here. We're here. Time to play like a fucking boss. I clicked on this because I thought it sounded funny. And I don't know what this is going to change in your RPGs, but we're going to see. You're going in with a half-formed approximation of a player character. This one, you're going to have real characters. You can get a taste of what's in store. You can get something free for the life of this Kickstarter campaign of the previous thing that they did. And here you can get, with my patented conversational prose, I'll guide you as best I can to make the best players at the table. For just 3 payments of $33.33 and our patented conversation module, we'll teach you how to speak like a person. Have you never spoken words before? Never fear. With Play Like a Effin' Boss, you can. I don't know. Maybe it interests you. There's some free things in it, so it gets a link down below. But that's all we're going to do to talk about it. Moving along, we're going to talk about Sword Art Online, powered by Japanime Tactics. We're adding the Underworld to Japanime Tactics, battle using Kirito, Asuna, and their friends. I like Sword Art Online. I thought that was a really fun series. It drags a little, but in the middle of every season. But generally, it's a pretty fun one. So I'm interested to see how they will bring that to some sort of board game. Oh yeah, look, they're using the latest arc. Was that the last one or that was in Alicization? Yeah. This isn't. This is just going to be the trailer for the new series. Well, yeah, but what about the gameplay? Sword Art Online. Yeah, it's an old trailer. It's an old trailer. I think there's one more arc of Sword Art Online that has to come out. Somebody will know. You're going to message me immediately as you hear this. You've already been typing it out, so I appreciate it. So it's just a new addition to the Japanime Tactics set. What is Japanime Tactics? I'm sure I've covered it before, but we're going to remind ourselves because I don't remember anything about it. Base game, 3 expansions, 4 promo character packs. You have 20 characters to choose from to add to the Tactics. Each pack includes an acrylic standee, 6 action cards, and a stat card. Okay. Yeah, Yu-Gi-Oh! Is pretty cool. Base game contains everything needed for a full 2v2 battle. You can get a bunch of different characters as well if you like this tactics. Okay, great. I'm gonna need to know how to play the full game, but if you wanted to pull in Lifa, because you're a big Lifa fan, because you love not knowing your sisters in a virtual world, that's the Lifa character. Integrity Knights. Meh. Axiom Church expansion, Quinella Sword Golem, Shuttlekin. Okay, you determine the first player, download the rulebook. Well, alright, you have a rulebook. Good on you. Good for you. What does this tactics game offer? This watermark is very annoying. Alright, everybody is going to have their own, basic stats, attack, defense, movement, and then interact. You know, the famed interact stat. What do you do on your turn? I interact with it. How? I interact with it. It's certainly better than Tales of the Arabian Nights, where you can enter anything you want. See that elephant? I enter it. That lion? I enter it. The cave? I enter it. Makes sense. The town? I enter it. That field? I enter the field. That pie? You get the gist. And then you're gonna have a bunch of action cards you can play on your turn. Action cards will do a basic thing, but then they do a better thing if you're using it for the correct character. First player to win 12 points at the end of the game, at the end of a round, is declared the winner. Players achieve 2 victory points. Every round they have more characters in the squares on the control zone tile than the opponents. You also gain 6 victory points for defeating an opponent's character. Oh, wow. So it's King of the Hill, but kill 2 people and you win. It's basically control it for 3 rounds and then kill someone. That's how most games would probably work. Draw 4 cards, essentially 1 card per character. Even though it said you could play 2 versus 2, so I guess you would only draw 2 cards. I don't know. Can't have more than 5 cards. I see, and there's a sort of matching symbol and color aspect to it. Where you can play a card, and if you match the symbol and the color, you get 2 bonuses to your attack, essentially. If you have like a purple gear, that's what the example is right here. And we play a purple gear attack card, you can get a bonus of 2. Cool. That makes sense. You play a card, you move, or you dash. Let's see if we can zoom in. Sonic Leap. Before or after Kirito attacks, place Kirito in any adjacent square. Cool. So they just have little slight modifiers on your abilities, is what they seem. Yu-Gi-Oh! Freezing Strike. After Yu-Gi-Oh! Attack, Yu-Gi-Oh! Not Yu-Gi-Oh! That's different. If this attack dealt any damage, equip this card to the target. While equipped, reduce your movement by 2, because you freeze them. That seems fairly basic. Chains. After finishing a character's activation, the active player can activate another character if they play an action card that matches the previous action card's color. The active player can continue chaining actions as long as all of the chained action cards have an attribute of the same color. But you're resigned to the number of cards in your hand, right? So you could chain them together, but that's not going to necessarily give you extra moves, but that will give you extra quick draws, especially if you're trying to take down a character. Yeah, you can dash, you can push people out of places as well. I think a lot of the case with this battle system, similar with like Universus, is if you really like the IP, then it's fun to get to play around in that IP, right? Like, it was fun in Attack on Titan to play cards because I like Attack on Titan cards. It was fun to go against Ochako, that Zach bought, because we like My Hero Academia, right? Definitely up levels the game, and I think that's what this tactics system is going to do as well. It feels like a fairly standard skirmishy, easy to understand skirmish game, King of the Hill controlling game. You're working with your item cards, but the action cards, they don't seem like they're going to have that wild of effects. Right, like after Asuna dodges or defends, the attacker takes a damage, right? Because she's a bomb friggin' warrior. That's that. Before Dusselboard attacks, discard this card to add +1 damage, right? So again, very, very simple ideas of attacking or defending, just a bunch of keywords as well. And then you have different maps, different layouts. The layout of the terrain makes a difference for range and extra movement. Yeah, and they recommend having 4 unit teams, which makes sense since they're like, you should draw 4 cards. How much are you though? That's the question. Like $50 for this, $70 Canadian. Or if you want all of the characters, sure, it's $125, $159 retail, $173 Canadian. Shipping to the USA is $15. Shipping to Canada is $15. That's nice. But again, I'm looking at, once more, $85 to $90 for a very bare bones game. I think it seems fine. Like, I don't think it actively looks bad. I think there is probably an enjoyable flow to this game for sure. Let's look at Japan Tactics. What is it? Japanime Tactics. Yeah. Wonder what that's on BGG. Let's look at Japanime Tactics Grand Blue Fantasy. It's a starter set. I would imagine a 7. Yeah. It's a 7.6, but how many ratings are there? 10, 15, 19 rating. Oh, number of ratings, 21. Oh, I missed those 2, yeah. Yeah, I agree. It's a terrible release model because it only includes 4 characters, and then they recommend you play an 8-character game. So I don't really like that aspect of it. The Jita starter set is also sitting around a 7.5 as well. I would have guessed 7, so it's higher than what I expected, but again, not many ratings. 31 total rating. So yeah, if you're interested, you can check that out. The finish is Thursday, May 15th at 6 p.m. I don't think you should be that interested, but maybe you are. Maybe you really love the IP. could be okay. Moving along, we're just going to cover this briefly. This is Realm Reforged, Essential Fantasy Miniatures, Physical and STL. If you had a bunch of boxes and you thought, well, you know what would go good with these boxes of plastic? More minis. Well, you can check out this. You can get 195 minis. Look at all that plastic. Because I know that your boxes of games that you have on the shelf don't have enough minis. I know that. I know that when you play your D&D or any RPG game, you don't have minis on which you can draw. I know it doesn't exist just yet. I forget if I've even gotten... I don't think I've gotten the big minis back from Zach yet. Anyway, you can come over here and check out. It's a massive set of 28mm heroic scale miniatures for fantasy tabletop role-playing game. You can get the full STL set for $49. You can get the full physical set for $96. But of course, full has an asterisk. Oh, the physical set is 50% off, $48 for previous backers. That's sweet. Way to go. And then it includes both unsupported and pre-supported STLs are free to previous BLG backers. Also great. It was originally launched by Blacklist Games. We acquired the Fantasy Series miniatures from Blacklist Games in 2024 because they were never produced right. To show our commitment to actually providing and delivering the minis, we've already fully paid for all the molds. Wow. Which began production in mid-March 2025. Oof, that's really good. Wow, that's a classy move. A real classy move, and making sure that everybody gets the stuff for free for original Blacklist Games backers. Yeah, they obviously saw how well that campaign did, and they were like, well, let's actually do it this time. I just wait for the one time, I'm not saying that this is going to happen here, but I wait for the one time where it's like, yes, we acquired the rights, and then they don't deliver. And then somebody else acquires the rights, and then, oh, we acquired the rights, don't worry, you can get it for 50% off. And then they don't deliver, and you just keep on doing that shell game until people lose all faith in crowdfunding whatsoever. Can't wait for that one to happen. I don't think it's going to happen here. But I don't know, because I know nothing about these people. The minis seem fun. You know, you get your elf rangers, your half-orc rangers, your dwarf rogues, your gnome rogues, your half-orc rogues, your elf rogues, your halfling rogues. Oh, the friggin' halflings. You know, if there's one race of people in fantasy that I now hate because of Iridia, it's the halfling. And I'll tell ya, Zach and I have a hatred for them. And you won't know for months from now as to why. The three of you who are going to continue watching the Iridia playthroughs, that I'm still going to put up on the channel, probably will actively harm my channel's growth, but I don't care, because I don't do this for you. I do this for you. I do it for you. Anyway, I hate halflings, and I'm not going to stop now, except for one little snot-nosed boy who was nice. Anyway, you can check these out if you want. It's on GameFound. I'm sure if you go to GameFound, you'll see it because it is one of the highest funding things that they have going on right now. And if you're interested to check that out and you need a bunch of minis, well, it finishes on the 15th at 10 p.m. Moving along, we're going to this one, Gazebo and Gingham. Travel-friendly board games, 2 gorgeous, compact, interactive board games you can play with anyone, anywhere. Gazebo and Gingham. Gingham. That old Gingham. Bitewing Games likes to do this. They did this with Trailblazers. They made a travel set, and so they're making more travel sets. I think travel sets are nice, but I also find them annoying on my shelf just because it's a difference in shape. Well, let's see what it's offering. Looks like it's a domino style tile placement game. This isn't going to show me gameplay. It's going to show me checkers and bugs. Checkers and bugs. Checkers and bugs. Checkers and bugs. Gonna give me a hug. Checkers and bugs. Checkers and bugs. Where they feeling so smug? 'Cause they in my picnic get me snick with their little bitty legs where they look like ticks. Okay, we go. $39 each. Place premium dominoes. Okay. Onto a shared garden map to create and claim nooks and compete over patios. Well, I'll tell you something. If you're looking for premium Domino's, you should get the Domino's Pan Pizza, all right? Not this. That's the only premium Domino's I want in my mouth, in and around my mouth. A game of confection connection. Wait, they heard me. The travel line from Bitewing Games. You get the boxes, and you get a travel case. Look at that. The clamshell case and carabiner for $15. Okay, I like that. That is always going to come in a box. I think that's a smart play. It's a smart play because I like it. That's why it's smart. No other reason. $4 shipping, $9 to the EU and Canada. Enjoy free travel case and carabiner for each game you back. Well, oh, you get the deluxe. You get the deluxe expansions here. I was like, well, you could just get it for $40 each, or you could get both for $100, $80, $100. But I guess there are 2 small expansions that you get with them if you get that full package. I imagine it's very simple. Let's see. Place beautiful dominoes. They've got to be beautiful. They've got to be beautiful. They've got to be premium. They've got to be beautiful. You know it's beautiful dominoes beautiful Domino's is slapping your pizza, your pan pizza, with that garlic parm sauce instead of tomato sauce. That's how you make a beautiful Domino's, all right? I'm sure I've told this story on this channel before, but I'm going to tell it again because it represents a low moment in my history, and judging by the insert video, well, apparently you all like to see those things. So I was away for a contract in Nova Scotia, because apparently it's the only place I get work. And I came back after the summer, and this was when I was waiting tables, and so I had cash that I just left in my place for the subletter to find. They didn't. Spoiler alert, it was hidden in the Mario Kart little wheel for the Wii. It was hidden in there in the box in my closet. That's where I kept all my money. There was like $1,000 in there. I'm very glad they didn't take it. Anyway, so I had some cash on hand. So because I had cash on hand and I had just gotten back, I decided, well, I should order some Domino's, naturally. Ordered myself a little pizza, yum. And so I ordered Domino's, and the person came to my door, as the delivery people tend to do. And they said, oh, hey, we haven't seen you in a while. And my response could only be, oh, summer. He's like, oh yeah, barbecue season. I was like, totally. And I took the pizzas and I closed the door, and I never ordered from Domino's again until they came up with COVID regulations to just leave it at the step and don't talk to me about my crippling addiction. Yeah, I apparently had been ordering Domino's so much that one of the multiple delivery drivers recognized me and missed my absence and was happy I was back. And I couldn't tell him that the only reason I hadn't been ordering copious amounts of Domino's was because I was literally not in the house. And that's the only reason. And the moment I arrived, I returned to my glorious, beautiful Domino's, whose regular pizza crust is bad, to be clear. Pan pizza or nothing. Even their stuffed crust pizza isn't that great. But Little Caesars has that pretzel pizza, now a pretzel stuffed crust pizza with that gross, disgusting cheese sauce that just tastes so good with the salt. Oh, you gotta get it. Anyway, that's my Domino's story. Where were we? Reiner Knizia, of course. Place a beautiful Domino's tile on the shared garden to establish nooks, 2 matching colors. Place gazebos on newly formed nooks on connected patios. Connect your nook to an opponent's nook, well, and absorb their smaller nook, replacing their gazebos. Oh my god, that's spicy. Put out all your gazebos first to win. Alright, the rules are simple, the strategies are anything but. It's real Tigris and Euphrates in terms of the stealing of the nook. Like, your nook is bigger, you then move in with a specific color, and you can take that away from somebody. Cool, lots of tension, lots of fighting, that actually looks great. The elevation expansion, it just gives you 2 maps. Meh. Thick punchboard goes to thick plastic, $15 discounted in the deluxe bundle. Okay. So some are free and some are discounted, sure. I mean, it's all discounted in a sense. It's a bundle. Cool, that does look great, actually. That looks like very fun area control. Then we have Gingham. The race is on, and Gingham players are ants. Oh, well, that's a bit hurtful, but true. Who have found an abandoned picnic basket, through clever placement of their queens around the Gingham blanket, they will deploy their ants to connect the sweets and claim the stockpiles they create. Yum, 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 yum. Eat the most to win. Finally, an all-you-can-eat sushi game I can get behind. Connect matching sweets to stockpile them and earn points. Okay. Surround stockpile to claim them for more points. Earn and spend sugar cubes for powerful abilities. Cool. Great videos. Great little videos from Bitewing. Also makes this seem interesting. I think Gazebo seems more interesting than Gingham, but Gingham does seem interesting in terms of you're going to have this picnic blanket. You're going to plop your queen on a row, and you can basically drop an ant in any row. And so it's timed out in a way that you're blocking your opponents from being in a specific row, and then you can place wherever you want, and then that also determines turn order for the next time as well, with the goal of ultimately connecting the same type of resource. So you want to connect the cookies to the cookies, and the longer it takes you to connect there, the larger amount of points that you will get. Seems cool. I think Gazebo seems a lot more exciting to me, especially just because I get that feeling of Tigris and Euphrates. So that seems neat. Shipping on this is very good. No charge for additional games, so you can get a huge bundle if you want. $9 to Canada. It's still a bit pricey for me. It's 54 Canadian. and then plus shipping, so it'd be like 60, 63, 64. I guess that's standard for a board game, but I feel like the cost in the store is going to be, 40, and that's more what I would want to pay. However, I think both of these games seem really sound and are very exciting to look at and make me actively excited to look at them. So that's, I think, the mark of a good game. And great job, Bitewing Games. Very nice. That finishes Thursday, May 15th at 11 p.m. Next up, we have this one, Montoons Guardians of the Coral Islands. Awaken the Guardians, a modular asymmetric expansion packed with fresh gameplay. I clearly can't speak today, but we're going to keep on trying. One of my patrons, George, is backing this. He sent it to me saying, hey, please comment on it so I can unlock new things. And I said, you have to be a backer to comment. Well, I didn't say that to him, but I'm saying it to you now. George, you have to be a backer to comment. Oh, it's just a roll and write, though. All right, well, that makes me a little better. Oh, I remember this one. Right. I do remember this one. I thought it looked kind of cool. Anyway, the more comments that you get, the more people that you're going to unlock, I think. Right. I remember this. They did this before, right? Clash of the Coral Islands, Montoons. Yeah, ended October 2024. Yeah, I thought that looked cool way back in the day. And this is just an expansion for it. Sweet. Print and play, roll and write, arena combat. $6 for the Guardian expansion. That feels really reasonable. Coral Island and expansion is $25. That's a lot, especially considering Coral Islands was like $5. But I think maybe they're including a bunch of add-on stuff. This is neat though. I'm a huge fan of being outdoors, hiking, biking, and most of all, camping. I also personally love skirmish and arena battler style games. However, I couldn't bring my large box skirmish games with miniatures to the campsite, so I needed to find a solution to that problem. The solution was designing this game. Oh, that's what that theme song is reminding me of. I was like, what did that trigger in my head? But it triggers the Simpsons version of the Garden of Eden. That's what this, they had like, as a little riff, and then it's, in the Garden of Eden, baby, don't you know that I love you? That's where it's from. Oh, cool. And so essentially you're just shuffling in a bunch of Guardians, and then you can boost the amount of abilities that are in your original Guardian. You can awaken your Guardian, you immediately bond it to your Guardian, and then you have access to their ability. So just little checks that you have to make in terms of moving your people around the board. Yeah. I thought this looked really cool last time. I stand by it. Yeah, for every new comment on this Kickstarter page, 1 per person. So they have 43 people. That's weird. I think there's more than 43 people backing. There's 101 people backing, but only 43 people I've decided to comment, and probably less, probably half. The 3 new battle maps, so you're probably just getting that if you wanted to get into it. There's no option of just getting the base game and then plus the Guardians. That makes sense. Yeah, but definitely think this looks fun, and it's print to play. It's only $6 for the expansion, so you know what? That's A-okay. If you're interested in that finishes Friday, May 16th at 11 a.m. Moving along to this one. I don't know if this is going to be any good, but it's called Renaissance and Write, a roll and write of building teams of artisans who will complete masterworks for your family. This is the same person who created the Pride and Prejudice one, right? Yeah, Persuasion, and then what was the one that I really liked? Pride and Prejudice. That was the one that I liked. So yeah, William Shakespeare's Renaissance. He's not Jacobean. I love dice drafting. This doesn't seem that good at all, unfortunately. It's just like bingo. You're dice drafting, which is great. It got me excited. And then you're filling out your sheet, each one of these sheets, but they don't really do anything. They just, like, you get bonuses when you complete a row, but it's so clear who has what masterpiece. So it's not like that's like a hidden thing. And you want to complete all of the bingo cards and your masterpiece, which feels like everybody's going to be around the same speed as well. It just, yeah, this one looks very boring compared to the other stuff, which is a little bit disappointing, but what can you do? But if you're interested, that finishes Friday, May 16th at 11:51 a.m. Moving along to this one, Earth, the Animal Kingdom expansion. Earth just got wilder. Earth Animal Kingdom introduces 36 animals that change how you build, adapt, and score your diverse ecosystem. There's Maxime Tardif. He's going to be at the World Series of Board Gaming this year, which is pretty sweet. There's Connor. He's going to be in KublaCon, I think. If you're doing the Earth tournament there, you can see him. Also pretty sweet. I'm just checking their rewards and their FAQs. They had the Earth Abundance, and now they're here, which we didn't cover because it had a $1 pre-pledge, and this one doesn't have it. So we're excited about that. 7,500 backers get the expansion for just $28 US. Let's see what it has to offer. This guy sounds like Timu Morgan Freeman. Yeah, that seems neat. I like that. I like what they're plopping down. Brings more asymmetry to Earth. Yeah, everybody's going to get their own animal power. I just wonder how these animals are divvied out. Essentially, these animals can activate anytime somebody puts a little leaf token, so completes a global objective. And so setting things up and not claiming that yet, and claiming that at an opportune time now becomes an interesting decision, which I think is neat. 6 panoramic readiness tokens, sure. First player upgrade token, fauna tree upgrade. Free gift for Earth and Abundance backers. I think I gave Earth a seal of approval. Don't see my little seal up there. I forget, honestly. I guess I should explain Earth if you don't know how Earth is played. I mean, it's been out for a while and I've done a review on the channel, and I assume you watch every single video I've ever produced, and if you haven't, shame on you. Earth incorporates one of my favorite mechanisms, which is a follow mechanism, where you choose an action, you get the best version of that action, and everybody gets a smaller version of that action. But everyone is also crafting these tableaus to activate more and more actions whenever somebody chooses that specific color. It's points, 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 points. And if you want to know how to win, I have a how to win video also on the World Series of Board Gaming's channel. I like that you get these meeples that are coming out. That feels fun. The meeples are just really cool. And then there are new global abilities triggered every round as well. Every round? Wow, is it every round, every player's turn? Every round, maybe. You can just always turn that into soil. That feels like it would really ramp up the game. Like, you have to be banking on this thing, right? You have to be just like slamming that over and over, and if you're not, you're already streets behind. 5 Formosan termites, a ball python. Yeah, these are cool. Select 1 or 2 animals depending upon your game mode. Each one offers a unique ability, so you just shuffle them up, you deal them out randomly. It's just asymmetric player powers is what it is. That's all it is. Use the leaf to trigger the ability. You're not going to activate these all the time. Oh, whenever you discard or place a leaf on the fauna board. So interesting, you won't get to activate these things when everybody does it. I thought it was when everybody does it, which makes it a little bit more interesting to me. So they're really not going to be that impactful then if they can only be activated 4 times. But it's the big global ability that's going to be the major impact. I want to see what their definition of round is. Yeah, between the starting player, you place it face up between the starting player and the last player in turn order. So every time there's a round. Deal 4 animals, pick 1 or 2. Cool. Oh, and draft them too. Sweet. So things will have. Oh, cool. And this is why you have 5 leaves as well. Discarding a leaf from play. Players should be aware that leaves cannot re-enter play. Therefore, by discarding a leaf to activate animals' abilities, a player will have fewer leaf tokens available to claim fauna objectives or the tableau completion bonus. Gotcha. So you don't think that you are going to be completing, if somebody's ahead of you on the 7x7, you can maybe still use an animal ability to get 7 points that way. Cool. I really like that. Only the player who used the leaf may activate their animal's ability. Yeah, but I do like that there is a give and take. I think that's pretty exciting. And they'll move around. The initial placement is 1 movement. Yeah, I'm intrigued by this. I think this would be a very fun addition to the game. I think it would be easy to implement as well into the base game. Everything new. Oh, you get a nice neoprene playmat. Well, if you wanted a personal neoprene playmat, you could head to the World Series of Board Gaming. Yeah, pretty good. Playing the Earth. This is just the fauna tree. They're like, oh, Everdell had a useless tree. Let's do a fauna tree as well for no reason. It's not going to help. Yeah, it's just a cosmetic upgrade. Absolutely. Doesn't help anybody. It's pretty funny, though. Yeah, I like all the little modules that Earth has sort of put out. Even these weather modules. I like the base game, like the calendar of the month module. They reduce costs on certain things. I'm very intrigued by this. You can also get the resource upgrade pack with recycled plastic, cool, and you can get soil as well so that they actually are usable, because the upgraded soil, I feel, in the Kickstarter for the first one is a downgrade of both what they put forward first and just the regular tokens as well. Yeah, looks good. Looks nice. So what is it? It's 28 US, 39 Canadian, and then shipping is going to be 14 to Canada, 13 to the US. It'd be about $50 for this as a modular expansion. I think that's a little pricey. I would want to see this at I guess you do get all the meeples, right? That's what you're paying for. You're paying for those kind of deluxified tokens. I would want this at a $30 price, personally. I mean, it's 28 US, sure. But for me in Canada, I kind of wish if it was like $30 Canadian, I'd be much more inclined to get it. I think it's a way to wait for it at retail, or especially for me in Canada, Inside Up is a Canadian company, and I could probably get it for cheaper at Breakout Con or something local. You know, I assume there's going to be stock here. So it's not necessarily a Kickstarter back for me, but I think it seems like a really great addition to Earth. And if I keep Earth in my collection, which I will, I enjoy it. I know Zach and Colin like it a little bit more than me, but I like it. I definitely like it. And I like it more through the World Series of Board Gaming. I like watching people play as well. But I would definitely incorporate this into my copy. I can see the applications. I can see the fun twist to it, and it's not going to be that overwhelming. It would be an auto include and something that you could absolutely introduce with new players, no problem. And I love those sorts of expansions. So if you're interested in that, that finishes Friday, May 16th at 5 p.m. Moving along to this one, Shallow Regrets, a pocket-sized game of deep regrets. Haul in otherworldly fish and monstrous creatures to maximize your profit. 2 to 3 players with a free solo expansion, only $12. So it's 1 to 3 players then. No, but it's 2 to 3 players with a free solo expansion. I guess if the solo is going to be sold separately, who knows? What I do know is that we didn't cover Deep Regrets the first time it was around because they did the $1 pre-pledge, and we're going to cover this one because they haven't done it. And also it's button shy. And like most button shy games, they are $12. Oh, shout out to Paloma. Paloma, they sent me an email and they were like, hey, I got of some few button shy games that I probably won't use. They were impulse purchases, and so I'm going to send them to you because you always talk about how you're never able to play button shy games. You've never tried any of them, so I'm going to send you those. So I'm excited to try those out, and yeah, since we're talking about button shy, I'm excited to give Paloma a shout out, and I'll give you a shout out when they arrive as well. 18 fish cards. Gobble gobble. You reel in fish, you choose which ones to keep, you collect hooks to afford bigger fish, and then you use the abilities. So draw 2, keep 1. Sure, seems fun enough. You can download the preview. Again, something that you have to add to cart to check out, so I'm not going to look at that. Are they going to have a rulebook? Defeat fraud in a fishing competition, this 6-card solo expansion. Scripted decisions, making a small selection of strategies for fraud to follow, keeps fraud's turns moving quickly while still capturing the unpredictability and interaction of the core game. Hello, Schnookums. You're on camera.
Like you're recording a YouTube video?
Yeah. What do you have to say to the room and board viewers before I mute?
First of all, I would like to say, let's please lock in Schnookums. I'm a big fan.
Yeah,
done. That's all. That's my only request.
That's it.
Yeah, I have nothing about board game fans.
Wow.
Except for they're obviously making a great decision, watching your comedic genius, combined with your incredible analysis of games.
Yeah, there we go.
And they would all be lucky to get to play a game with you one day. I hope they get that chance. As long as they let you win. And
as long as they let me win. What is this nonsense? No, you're on such a good.
I'm not like, I had to add a controversial element. That
boo, boo, everybody boo, Yaz, boo. And go check out sourcedpress.com.
Yeah, it's better if they go to source.press. That way, if they don't hear the ED, it still works.
Right. Go to sourced.press.
That's very kind. Wow, I feel privileged to be on this video. I can call you back.
Obviously, you're also going to want to get the lingering remorse, so you have more fish to choose from, and use the code 0525BACKER to get 15% off your button shy order. That's like $1.80 off a game. Pretty good. Pretty good. Shipping is always good to the US, $5. Shipping to Canada is always horrible, $17. Unless you've got a lovely Paloma to help you out. Yeah, there's no rulebook here, unfortunately, but it seems pretty simple. You draw 2 cards, you pick one, put the other one back. I'm going to assume that's how it's played. I think that's probably how it's played. And yeah, it looks solid, you know? It's a variation on the I cut you choose, but it's an I cut I choose and put it back and hope that you don't take it. Maybe there's some bluffing above the table interaction that can happen there if you're playing with multiple people saying like, oh, that's a gross card, trying to pick one quickly so that your opponent thinks it's a bad card so that you can then pick it up so you can fish it again. And the little memory aspect of saying, okay, well, I know that's where the great white shark is, and so once I get 3 fish hooks, I can go back to that one, and hopefully my opponent doesn't go to that yet. So, yeah, maybe some potential there. If you're interested, that finishes Saturday, May 17th at 10:30 a.m. We're moving on to Propigation Station, except, whoops, no, we're not, because it's on the $1 pre-pledge list. So, no, we're not giving free publicity to campaigns that use that. Instead, we're going to go on to this, to Deckhand Deckhand Games. Again, the reason why I don't skip them entirely is for all of you out there who may not have noticed or were thinking about it, were waiting for certain coverage, and wanted to still vote with your wallets so that we abolish that horrible practice once and for all. I think it's telling that the large studios, such as Ivy Studios or Inside Up Games, who dabbled in the $1 pre-pledge, no longer use it. And there's a reason for that, because it's not a magic catch-all. You know the the companies that do use it? One whose first hit was a critically reviled game that I don't think I've ever seen a positive review of Botany. And I think there's a reason for it, which again, I called its very basic and boring gameplay way back when it first arrived. So just a couple more to look at. Next we have Deckhand Games. 2 new innovative 18-card games you can play with a standard deck of cards. What does that mean for our best travel games of all time? Ooh, I guess, well, I haven't put out that video yet. So if you're not part of the Room Board Patreon or Discord, then you don't know what I'm talking about. But a deck of cards went pretty far in the travel deathmatch. And maybe it won the whole thing. I don't know. Maybe this is the reason why. We've got these 2 new and innovative 18-card games that you can play with a standard deck of cards. Pay what you want, which is lovely. And let's check them out. I think that's pretty cool. All aboard for Deckhand Games. Get ready to shuffle up a new kind of fun. It's the 18-card games, but you already have the cards because you have a deck of cards. Oh, I think Yuval was trying to design one of these as well. My neighbor and not friend Yuval. And we played it and it was quite fun. So the 18 cards are sort of supplementary in addition to a deck of cards. While future Kickstarters will offer previous Deckhand games as part of your pledge, at this point, the print and play versions will not be available at such low introductory prices as $1. Boil and Bubble. The brined cat has mewed. The hedge pig has whined. 'Tis time, 'tis time. Do you remember that time? I remember that time. In Boil and Bubble, you are witches and wizards placing ingredient cards into your personal scoring cauldron throughout the game. Every round, you also bid on and win other spell cards that you use to score with your stored ingredients. Player with the highest score wins. First, each player takes all cards of one suit. Then each player receives a cauldron. This will have a score criteria on the left side. Place one of your cards under to score. Throughout the game, you're going to place 5 cards under your cauldron. Only 5 will score. Then each round, 3 spells are placed face up in the center of the table. Players will place 1 ingredient card from their hand to bid to win spell cards. They look like cauldrons, but they use the other side. I think in terms of design, you should just have them double-sided. If you play the same card as another player, you cancel it out. So it's just a bidding game. It's an auction game where you have a set number of bids. That's, I think, quite an innovative way of using 18 cards, or a regular deck of cards. Not using them as the cards, as you might think in doing a trick-taking game, but using it just as the bidding possibility. Yeah, it seems neat. And then Dig Treasure Island. You want to claim the most points worth of treasure over 2 rounds. To collect treasure, you have to first draft cards and assemble a map, a tableau of 12 cards in front of them. Then at the end of each round, treasure cards will be awarded to the players whose map best meets the pattern shown on the treasure card. Players can also use equipment cards to adjust their maps to their benefit. At the end of 2 rounds, player with the most valuable treasure wins. Okay, so you just draft cards. There'll be an open market of cards, and you're looking for these patterns that you're making in your tableau, starting with the lowest or the highest, and you're making little runs. Yeah, also neat. I really quite like both of these. I think these are both really interesting. You can choose one game for $10 US. Both games for $20 US. That's about the price to expect. Shipping for one game, we estimate to be under $5. Yes, but you should look at Button Shy, because I don't know what theirs are, because they do $5 for the US, and then it's like $17 to Canada. So the fact that this doesn't have $17 to Canada kind of makes me a little, shifty. I imagine it would be more expensive to get to Canada, but I think both of those look quite nice. Yeah, way to go, Deckhand Games. Really like that. The finish is Tuesday, May 20th at 9:55 a.m. What a much better week than last week, hey? This week we don't have to deal with any of the, pardon my language, shitty games. And now we have Night Soil. Oh, no. Night Soil is a very mature game about sanitation in Tudor London to get rid of the poop on the streets. Clean the streets to earn your living under the cover of darkness. Night Soil, no video. But the Night Soil they're talking about is the feces that everyone flings into the streets. A very mature game about sanitation in Tudor London. I do like it. I do like that they're self-aware that they're very mature. Clean the street at night under the cover of darkness, like the poopsmith that you are. Earn money for your work and garner favor from patrons, and be home before morning. So it's like The Hunger, but a different hunger. The opposite of the hunger. The sequel to the hunger. The most unique board game being both historically best and mechanically clever. How dare you. Night Soil only has the number 2 most unique theme in board games. Get out of here. But it's also a game like no other. Worker placement game where no one owns the workers. A pick up and deliver game where everyone's trying to move the same stuff. And it's both highly tactical and interactive at the same time. $33 US. I do like the price. It's not a shit price. Rat catcher. Anyone seen any rats? My former friend and nemesis Josh was a rat catcher on Rain. I was a page. But his line was, good God. Okay, I need to know how to play. Perform the actions in the city, producing waste. How thee playeth. Advertise your businesses to the residents. Profit from giving your patrons a helping hand. What sort of helping hand are you giving them? Are you massaging their neck because it helps their constipation? Fulfill your duty as a night worker. Okay, Conver's got a video. That's great. They always do great stuff. And then we click there to readeth the rule book. Gross. It's just such a gross theme. Your small workers produce 1 night soil cube and your large workers produce 2 night soil cubes? Gross. Because the nuns don't poop? Conver does great videos though. I was thinking that Conver's videos are sometimes some of the only videos which get me the information that I want about the game quicker than accessing the rulebook. Really, they really do great stuff, I find. I think some of the best how to play videos in the business. All You Can Board used to do amazing rules explanation videos as well. They do a really good job, but they don't really post anymore because it's not really viable to do this as a career, just based upon YouTube numbers, you know? No ties. If you both tie, you both lose. So a number of different rounds depending upon the number of players. That makes sense. You'll place your workers in neighborhoods. They will generate night soil. And then in the evening, or the night rather, you use your laborer cards to move cubes around and off the board into the Thames. Throw in the poop in the Thames to earn coins as your big poop shoveler. That show with Steve Buscemi and Daniel Radcliffe, season 2. Oh, and Lolly Fope is in that as well. Still don't know what it's called, but I know those 3. So here are the mechanical implementations, though. There's restriction to your worker placement because if there's too much night soil in a spot, you cannot place a worker there, which also then makes your shifting around of the night soil important, because if you're planning on using a space next round, you probably aren't planning that far in advance, but if you are, well, stop it. You're not allowed. Cool, there's a battle for this patron track that's happening, which I kind of like the vibe of the paying coins equal to the number of tokens you already have on the patron track, and I can see how that balancing would work out quite nicely, combined with getting additional actions there. That does seem fun. I thought this wasn't going to be a good game, but I think mechanically it actually looks pretty good. Oh, cool. All the patrons give you a different ability. So the City Watch allows you to, push the poop out of the city gates instead of into the Thames. The church allows you to just move their nuns willy-nilly. If you pay them enough, they say, yeah, well, you can use the nun however you want. Can always be placed in the neighborhood. Gives a special action. Like all of these patron abilities feel fun as well. The lamplighter's hands. The streets are either illuminated or remain in darkness. A job well done gets no acclaim if nobody sees it happen. The sheriff allows you to win ties. Yeah, I like that. And then using a laborer card, you're getting control over neighborhoods as well, and you can get additional stuff if you keep it clean. And then the laborer cards just let you move the poop in various ways. Then you get money for cubes. I mean, Grail games are good. I like the stuff that they produce. I think they produce pretty solid games in general. I hate that I think this looks good. I'm mad that I think it looks good because I don't like the theme. All right, shipping to the US, $11 right now. Canada, 17 Canadian. So this would be, okay, it's $50 Canadian plus 17.67. That also falls into the reasonable category for Kickstarters. You don't often get that price point for Kickstarters. I mean, it's just cubes and meeples, so I can see why they would keep the cost down. I'm mad that this game looks good. I gotta find a reason why it sucks. It's also cool, too, that you can add night soil tokens to the patron tracks to stop other players from being able to take that majority from you until it's like cleared, and so it buys you some time. Stop it. Stop it, night soil. Yeah, I think this looks fun. I think this looks like a solid game, and I'm mad about it. So if you're interested in it, because I wasn't interested in it based on the theme, and now I'm contemplating it, that finishes Tuesday, May 20th at 10:29 a.m. And that's it. That is it for the week. Now, every week I do a pick for me and a pick for you, except for last week, because everything was garbage. The pick for me being the thing that I think is the most interesting, and the pick for you being the thing that I think is, you know, a good deal. If you get it, you might regret it the least. Those sorts of categories. Basically, whatever I feel like. But before we do that, let's go through what came before with a little grunt down to remind us of our choices. Yeah, absolutely not. Yeah, but retail. No. No. Meh. Oh, God. Ah. Meh. Me. Meh. Yeah. Meh. Yeah. No. Retail. Yeah. Absolutely not. Yeah. And yeah. This is hard. I think my favorite campaign this week, and I'll make this the pick for me, is Deckhand Games. These 18-card games using a deck of cards. I think both of them seem interesting. I think both of them are pretty neat. I like the innovation. I like how they use the deck of cards. I think it's really cool. Yeah, definitely really cool. Gazebo was my second choice, but I'm more intrigued by these Deckhand Games. So I'm going to go with that for the pick for me. And then this was almost the pick for me, but I just couldn't live with myself. So I had to make it the pick for you. Oh, the pick for you is Night Soil. And I did not expect that to ever happen going into this week, really, whatsoever. But I think the worker placement will be fun. I think the tracks up will be fun. I think the getting unique cards that let you shift cubes around will also be interesting. There might be some strategy of placing a meeple and then expanding. I legitimately think this will be a good game. I think they've screwed themselves with their theming, but maybe not. Maybe maybe the theming is also part of the attraction. I don't know. I think I would try to ignore the theming or ignore like the implications of the theming. But yeah, this one looks fun. And I really never thought I would say that. So that is almost it for the week. However, I do have one more thing to showcase. And it is this. I wondered why this box, those of you who know that this is my favorite game, right? It's not. If you missed it, you should check out the Betrayal of the Second Era Elder Scrolls insert, which, I should put that up on Board Game Geek, but sent this to me in the bottom of the Betrayal of the Second Era box, and I missed this. This was part of the false bottom. There was this maniacal person saying, "Do you want to play a game?" What sort of psychopath adds this into the mix? I had to showcase that off. And then Hextra was like, "Oh, but you didn't even unbox it fully. You didn't unbox it fully. You didn't look inside to the glory of what I did." And no, I didn't look inside, Hextra. You shamalama ding dong. I thought that there were player trays in here, okay? I thought that there were Elder Scrolls player trays, and then I didn't see it. And then he's like, "Didn't you see how comically large the sleeves were on the player aids?" And I was like, "I saw some plastic, but I just assumed it was nonsense, like excess." He's like, "No, that's purposeful. Look at what he did. Look at what he did to these sleeves. This is the player aid and the sleeves that he decided to put out, and it's all of them. It's everything in here." Oh, the others on the main board. Oh yeah, good job. At least these Night Terrors have real sleeves on them. Which, you know what? I hope there's enough that I can shuffle them in front of you. I hope that there is. And it wasn't enough. The game comes with a candle thing. He printed out this, which I wonder what I can find a use for. I'm not leaving this in the Night Cage, to be clear. If I find another thing that has good tiles, maybe Shogun no Katana. Honestly, I'll just take it and use this for Shogun no Katana. I can take them out as a little tray. Oh, just disgusting. But instead of your candle, because, we want to remove the only thematic tie-in that everybody's obsessed with this game, you can have this printed out. Revolting. The whole thing's 3D printed. Why would you waste the filament on that? Somebody was like, "I can't believe you're wasting the filament on making a 3D print." Look at these things. Just like, would you stop? Would you stop it? Would you just look at those? Awful. Someone's like, "Yeah, I can't believe you're like 3D printing something for chip theory that's already like pretty printed in plastic." And you know what I can't believe is being 3D printed? This whole thing. This insert. Now you're in for it. I found the sleeve cards. You want to see something horrible? I don't even care. I don't even care that these are the sleeve. Are there more sleeve cards? Yeah. Give me more sleeve cards. No, there isn't more sleeve cards. There's all these pieces, which are coming out of your insert, by the way. Not made to scale. This is why you need some lids. Look at that little mishmash and travel. There's a box that I can I can shuffle, I can shuffle some cards. You did this. Get higher. 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 I don't have a lot of real estate here. My mic's being moved. Can we see them? Yeah, we can see it. You want to know how to shuffle cards? Huh? Oh man, and that even worked. That even worked. It's because it's a small deck, to be clear. Have adequate knowledge of. I'm so mad. I'm so upset right now. That was meant to be your punishment. But instead it's mine. Oh, why would you waste your time and effort 3D printing this? I thought I liked you. I thought you were a nice young man. I thought you were. This tells me differently. This tells me differently. Disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. Oh, this should be called Night Soil, because that's how I feel about it. And Night Soil actually should be called, hey, pretty good game. Yuck. So that's it. That's it for the week. Pick for the trash. I've got that right here. I didn't include it in the Purge video, but you're on thin ice, Jigsaw. Honestly, more sadistic than Jigsaw. I would rather play any of Jigsaw's games, the ones that are winnable, okay, not the ones that were created by the person who, I'll put my mic back in front of me, the person who was going on a power trip and pretended to be Jigsaw, not following Jigsaw's code. No. Give me the winnable ones. I'd rather play any winnable game of Jigsaw's where I saw off my own arm or foot than play this abomination. Okay, that's not actually true, to be clear, because, I mean, I do have a pretty high pain tolerance, but I don't really want to saw off my own foot or, like, extract all my bone marrow or whatever it is. To be fair, I'm hyperbolizing, okay? Please, to all of you Jigsaws out there, don't take this to heart. I would much rather play the Night Cage, all right? But that's the only circumstance if I had those choices. Anyway, thanks for being here. Wait, thank you to most of you for being here. I like you, most of you, a lot. My name is Chris George. I do not have a catchphrase, but I do hope that most of you have a wonderful, wonderful day.